Some of the technologies that are going to come out are going to seem just absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Doesn't mean we should avail ourselves of them.
What are your thoughts on the way that technology is advancing, with robotics and AI? And as these things evolve, how does that affect our own evolution as well?
Okay. We could talk for hours on technology. And okay. So I guess the first thing that is wanting to be expressed is that, just to let you know, I'm going to be doing a live class very soon on the false awakening, the golden age of Saturn and the rise of AI. It's absolutely not suitable for YouTube, but it is in my private class. Click on the link below. I'll see you on the other side. All of us would be operating in a much more high frequency way if we didn't rely upon technology. So what do I mean by that? If we didn't use our phones so much, our telepathic powers would come back online rather quickly. So we would be able to communicate with one another telepathically, but we've become so reliant on technology, on something outside of the self, instead of focusing attention on and within the I am, which is everything, all higher intuitive functionality, which we'll go over in that course, the Master of the Mystic Arts. All higher intuitive functionalities are part of the I am. They have nothing to do with the physical body. So when we put attention on and within the I am, all of these functions, and then you do these specific things, they literally just kind of turn on. So we would have a lot more. We would be far more advanced from a metaphysical or spiritual, I hate that word, or a spiritual perspective if we were far less reliant upon technology, because it's actually keeping us from working on ourselves. So that's really, really important to understand. The other part is that technology has and can make our lives much simpler, and in that sense, better. Even though better is very subjective, but simpler, yes. So it depends on. There's a fine line there that we have to start to become aware, and it can be used to benefit, but never. It's never really going to allow us to touch the true self. It'll really give comfort and availability to more of the ego mind identity, to more of the human character. But still, technology can be extremely beneficial. It's really how it is that we're going to use it and what is the intention behind it. So it can't just be all technology is good. Anyone who says that is just, they've lost all discernment. They've lost all discernment, and they're just running a program. They just heard it somewhere and they're just regurgitating it. So technology can be wonderful. We have to be cautious. We have to discern. We have to understand what is the end goal. What are the possible ways that this can be used for very low frequency purposes, control, surveillance, right? There's a fine line in there. But don't ever forget, the greatest technology that's ever been invented is our own consciousness when we work with it directly. It doesn't have any limitations. Technology has got limitations because it's downstream. But when we work with ourselves in the way that I talk about and outline, there are no limitations. None. So technology can be wonderful. It can also be a nightmare. So we have to have discernment. We have to understand the intention, how it can be abused. What is the end goal? Don't think just immediately, how does this benefit me right now? Don't think that way. Don't think in that short-term ego mind sort of, I want gratification now. That will really help us to determine what kind of technology we should avail our energies, our time, and our money into.
It just feels like all of that technology is advancing so quickly, RJ, that in the very near future, it's going to have more and more of a profound impact on our day-to-day existence. So, I guess just use discernment with regards to how we use it.
Well, you ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Right? Ask yourself the question, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? Right? That will help you determine your use of technology. You are availing yourself of certain technologies. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Is it something very short term? Right? And if it is, then it's probably your ego mind that's seeking gratification. Most likely, not always, but it most likely is your ego mind requiring and needing instant gratification. So figure out what it is that you're trying to achieve, and then discover the root cause of that motivation. And then but this requires, again, introspection. This requires inner work. Everything does. It requires inner work. And then we will be so much wiser about everything that we do. And it'll be so much harder for us to be led astray when we work in this way. Some of the technologies that are going to come out are going to seem just absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Doesn't mean we should avail ourselves of them.
With a lot of these technologies, RJ, it feels like a lulling to sleep in a way. Like if we look at just like the invention of the grocery store, which is not like crazy technology, it's just the way that we consume our food now. Like we've gotten so far away from actually making the food, knowing how to store it, knowing how to preserve it, all those things. And then we look at like GPS. I couldn't go anywhere without GPS. I don't have maps anymore. I have nothing. So it just seems like the more and more technology that comes out, the more and more reliant we are, and the more further removed we are from, like you said, communicating telepathically, or figuring things out on our own. So it feels like a crutch a little bit when we look at it from that perspective, right?
Yeah, and that's why I said to examine what is the driving force or the motivating factor for availing yourself of those certain technologies. Is it for this instant gratification? Are we really what we're doing? Is what we're doing just increasing personhood? Are we using this technology to increase personhood and become more and more disconnected from the I am, or the God within, right? That's what that is. God is within our consciousness. It is the I am. So if we're getting further and further away, I mean, listen, this is what the satanic agenda is. Let's be clear about this. It's to remove God from our consciousness by pulling us always outside of it, by harvesting our attention and then being implanted with narratives and programs. So we have to understand that this is where this can become nightmarish. So it's like, is it short term? Is it just really increasing my personhood? Am I using these technologies to just avail myself of more sort of bodily gratifications and cravings? Am I just using it that way? Substitute gratifications for the immeasurable I am. So this is not some kind of easy, quick fix. This is a great challenge for human beings. And if we work with ourselves properly, we'll always be steered in the right direction, because the intuition always knows. The mind, the finite conditioned mind, the reptilian brain, doesn't know anything, which is why it constantly wants more and more information, because it doesn't know anything. Because this is disconnected from the source of knowing. So we want to attune this and this to this. And then our desire and how we use technology will be so different than how it is right now. But again, everything is this inner shift. Everything is this inner shift. And if our attention is always outwardly focused, eventually we're going to identify with what our attention is on endlessly. And then once we identify, we are attached. And then that becomes your master. If you are unaware, I lead a global meditation where all of us come together with a single pointedness of focus by harnessing our attention and intention, which is a massive amplification of our energy, which yields greater efficacy in terms of what it is that we desire to manifest. If you want to help change the world, literally, sign up on the link below, because we're going to be doing another one very soon.